Achilles continues. But goddess, thou thy suppliant son attend, to high Olympus' shining court ascend, urge all the ties to former service owed, and sue for vengeance to the thundering god. Oft hast thou triumphed in thy glorious boast, that thou stoodst forth of all the ethereal host, when bold rebellion shook the realms above, the undaunted guard of cloud-compelling Jove. When the bright partner of his awful reign, the warlike maid and the monarch of the main, the traitor gods, by mad ambition driven, durst threat with chains the omnipotence of heaven. Then, called by thee, the monster Titan came, whom gods Briareus, men Aegean name. Through wondering skies enormous stalked along, not he that shakes the solid earth so strong. With giant pride at Jove's high throne he stands, and brandished round him all his 100 hands. The affrighted gods confessed their awful lord, they dropped the fetters, trembled and adored. This goddess, this to his remembrance call, embrace his knees, at his tribunal fall, conjure him far, to drive the Grecian train, to hurl them headlong to their fleet and main, to heap the shores with copious death, and bring the Greeks to know the curse of such a king. Let Agamemnon lift his haughty head o'er all his wide dominion of the dead, and mourn in blood that ere he durst disgrace the boldest warrior of the Grecian race. Unhappy son, fair Thetis thus replies, while tears celestial trickle from her eyes. Why have I borne thee with a mother's throes to fates averse, and nursed for future woes? So short a space the light of heaven to view, so short a space, and filled with sorrow too. Oh, might a parent's careful wish prevail, far, far from Ilion should thy vessel sail, and thou from camps remote the danger shun which now, alas, too nearly threats my son. Yet what I can, to move thy suit I'll go to great Olympus crowned with fleecy snow. Meantime, secure within thy ships, from far beyond the field, nor mingle in the war, the sire of gods and all the ethereal train, on the warm limits of the farthest main, now mix with mortals, nor disdain to grace the feasts of Ethiopia's blameless race. 12 days the powers indulge the genial rite, returning with the 12th revolving light. Then will I mount the brazen dome and move the high tribunal of immortal Jove. The goddess spoke. The rolling waves unclose, then down the steep she plunged from whence she rose, and left him sorrowing on the lonely coast in wild resentment for the fair he lost. In Chrysa's port now sage Ulysses rode, beneath the deck the destined victim stowed. The sails they furled, they lashed the mast aside, and dropped their anchors, and the pinnacle tied. Next on the shore their hecatomb they land, Chryseis last descending on the strand. Her, thus returning from the furrowed main, Ulysses led to Phoebus' sacred fane, where at his solemn altar, as the maid he gave to Chryseis, thus the hero said, Hail, reverend priest, to Phoebus' awful dome, a suppliant, I from great Atrides come. Unransomed, here receive the spotless fare, accept the hecatomb the Greeks prepare, and may thy God who scatters darts around, atoned by sacrifice, desist to wound. At this, the sire embraced the maid again, so sadly lost, so lately sought in vain. Then, near the altar of the darting king, disposed in rank their hecatomb they bring, with water purify their hands, and take the sacred offering of the salted cake. While thus with arms devoutly raised in air and solemn voice, the priest directs his prayer. God of the silver bow, thy ear incline, whose power encircles Scylla the divine, whose sacred eye thy Tenedos surveys, and gilds fair Chrysa with distinguished rays. If, fired to vengeance at thy priest's request, thy direful darts inflict the raging pest, once more attend, avert the wasteful woe, and smile propitious, and unbend thy bow. So Chryseis prayed. Apollo heard his prayer, and now the Greeks their hecatomb prepare. Between their horns the salted barley threw, and with their heads to heaven the victim slew. The limbs they sever from the enclosing hide, the thighs selected to the gods divide. On these in double calls involved with art, the choicest morsels lay from every part. The priest himself before his altar stands, and burns the offering with his holy hands. pours the black wine and sees the flames aspire. The youth with instruments surround the fire. The thighs thus sacrificed and entrails dressed. The assistants part, transfix, and roast the rest. Then spread the tables, the repast prepare. Each takes his seat, and each receives his share. When now the rage of hunger was repressed, with pure libations they conclude the feast. The youths with wine the copious goblets crowned, and pleased dispense the flowering bowls around. With hymns divine the joyous banquet ends, the paeans lengthened till the sun descends. The Greeks restored, the grateful notes prolong. Apollo listens and approves the song. 'Twas night. The chiefs beside their vessel lie, till rosy morn had purpled o'er the sky. Then launch and hoist the mast. Indulgent gales supplied by Phoebus fill the swelling sails. The milk-white canvas bellying as they blow. The parted ocean foams and roars below. Above the bounding billows swift they flew, till now the Grecian camp appeared in view. Far on the beach they haul their bark to land. The crooked keel divides the yellow sand. Then part, where stretched along the winding bay, the ships and tents in mingled prospect lay. But raging still amidst his navy sat the stern Achilles, steadfast in his hate. Nor mixed in combat, nor in council joined, but wasting cares lay heavy on his mind. In his black thoughts revenge and slaughter roll, and scenes of blood rise dreadful in his soul.